you ever heard about point of view before?
Yeah.
What do you know about point of view? Can you tell me?
Who's telling the story?
What?
Who's telling the story?
Who's telling the story? Do you know what kinds of point of view there are?
First.
First person, second person. Okay. So what's first person?
Where you're telling the story?
What do you mean by that?
Like the main character is telling it? Or one?
Who's
Like, they say I.
They say I.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, so there's one narrator, we call it. The narrator is the person telling the story. So it's one narrator's point of view. POV point of view, right? So can you give examples of this? Or how does it affect the story if you tell it from first person? You guys know what I'm asking?
You don't get other people's thoughts.
You don't get other people's thoughts. So if you're telling it from first person, if you're the reader and you keep reading, I did this, I puffed and I sneezed and I ate the little pig up, what's that do to the reader? It's going to make the reader feel like they're in the story, like this is me. You know how sometimes you get caught up in a book and you feel like what's happening in the book is happening too? It's kind of like what first person can do, right? You're going to be up close and personal with the action and what's going on. Okay? We're not going to talk about second person, so don't worry about second person, although there is a second person point of view. Next one we're talking about is third person, but we're going to get more specific than just third person. We're going to call it third person limited. Have you guys ever heard of that before? No? Okay. So third person limited. What do you know about third person in general? How is it used? What kind of words do you see? Not I, but he or she, right? So he or she. So limited is still going to be one narrator's point of view, one narrator's thoughts. The only difference between first person and third person limited is that it's the he, she, or the I. So you're a little bit more distanced. It's like you're still you're watching it instead of when you use I, you're sort of in it. And then there's third person multiple. What do you guys think? If limited is one person, one narrator, what is third person multiple? Kyle, what do you think? If third person limited has one narrator, what would third person multiple be? Two characters, two narrators, two or more narrators' point of view. Have you guys ever read a story with that? Has anyone ever read a book by that?
Oh, Twilight.
Twilight.
It has like the sections of different people telling the story.
Okay.
I don't know
Chapter like Bella, Jacob, Edward.
Right. So, although isn't it just Bella?
Not
in the
but
last
in the
one.
fourth one, it goes from different people.
Okay, yeah. So, right. So when Bella in the fourth book is sick, then it's from other people's point of view, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want to say something?
And then Time Traveler's Life, I think so.
Okay.
It
I
like
read that one.
like almost every paragraph or page whatever goes to different places.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
From the guy who's traveling time and
My
then the
sister's
wife.
keeper.
My sister's keeper. Yeah, I was going to say Jodie Picoult. Anyways, so what that means is there's multiple narrators and they go back and forth from telling the story. You don't get the whole story. You just get several different points of view, several different narrators. Mitch, are you paying attention? All right. Eyes up here. Okay, so that's what multiple is. It's not much different than limited. It's just another point of view mixed in, but not at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's also he or she. All right, the last one is the most tricky, called third person omniscient. Have you heard that word before?
Yeah.
Mark, have you heard that word before?
No.
No? Who's heard it?
I've
Kyle?
heard it,
I've
but
heard it, but I don't know.
Do you have any idea what kind of context you've heard it in? No? That's okay. That's okay if you don't know. Anyone have any ideas about like what it's been associated with before?
Well, like the Bible.
The Bible, yeah. Okay, that's great. So omniscient is sort of like, the word itself sort of means godlike. People describe it as all-seeing or all-knowing. Do you guys know what that's sort of like a god, not necessarily the god if you believe in that, but like a god would know, like if you think about, if you studied mythology, the gods know everything, right? They know what's going on. They can see everything, they know everything. Sometimes they know the future. Yeah?
is that like when it knows everyone's thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, so exactly. So this point of view is still he or she, but the narrator isn't necessarily a character in the book. It's like this all-knowing narrator who knows everything. It's godlike. And when I think about it, first person, I'm in the character and I'm looking out the character's eyes. Like my body, I'm the same person because it says I. Third person, limited and multiple, I'm in the story kind of watching everything happen, but I'm still kind of like on the ground. And then third person omniscient, it's like I'm a bird, you know, bird's eye view. I'm just on top of everyone, but I can see everything. I can see the reasoning behind what's going on. So bird's eye view. Now you guys are going to want to think about all these different kinds of points of view, and you're going to choose one eventually. But right now I want you guys to practice.